Evening, ladies and gentlemen, January 8th, 6 p.m., Town of Grand Rapids Municipal Building Town Board meeting. First item on the agenda, Pledge Allegiance. Chief Wyatt, would you lead us tonight?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 2, approve the agenda. Item 3, minutes of December 11th and December 17th, 2018 Town Board meetings.
I'll make a motion to approve both of those.
Motion Patty.
Second.
Second Andrew. Any discussion?
Yeah, I
Go ahead.
just
Question?
noticed today, although the email comes, is everybody's minutes dated December 8th?
Oh, yes. Should be the, December,
I have some 17th here.
yeah, you should have the
Yeah,
17th.
Yeah.
But then the
The
8th.
8th should be changed to 11th.
Is the 11th the right date?
Or the
Okay.
11th.
I'll look at the calendar. All right.
Oh,
Yep. Thank you.
Good catch, Val.
anything else?
Well, I would, yes, and this is why I found that. Because on item number 20, and I see we have it on our agenda tonight, and I hope we do talk about it. But on item number 20, I see that that item was somehow sent to the Personnel Committee.
Yes.
And, you know, and here it was just tabled. And I thought it was, I think I
It
made the
was
motion.
tabled and sent to, I believe you tabled it and sent it to the committee, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I just tabled it. to
Well,
talk
why don't we
about
do
it.
this, Bill? Why don't we re-listen to the tape, and I'll have her correct it on
No,
that.
it was tabled and open, and then you guys were going to talk in closed, and I wasn't here for closed, so I don't know what you guys decided, if it was referred to personnel in
And I
closed.
believe
wouldn't-
it was referred to personnel, and I don't remember at what time that
Well, we
night.
can't talk about that if it was.
Right.
All right, so noted. Any other things? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? No opposed? People wishing to, public comment period, people wishing to address the board, limited to 2 minutes each. Public comment period not to exceed 30 minutes. Anybody in the audience wish to speak this evening? Go ahead, Shirley.
Yeah, the communication from the Police and Fire Commission, still waiting. I think, you know, the elected supervisors, officials should be weighing in on this, and I think this should be put on the town agenda. I mean, these people serve at the,
At the pleasure of the board.
that's right, and they approved that appointment of those people, and just the chair of that commission that's not responding to you. If you have given him orders to respond to the
Right.
situation, then I think it should be coming back to the town board.
Yeah, and we also had conversation with our attorney with it to get it completed. The only thing I can do for you is I'll follow up this time. I thought that it would have been handled after last month, but we'll see
This
what
is
I can.
almost, you know.
I understand.
This is ridiculous.
It's a long time. I understand that too. Anybody else or anything else? Jen? All right, we'll move on to monthly reports. Chief Pyatt for the fire department. What do you know today?
Good evening. Our monthly report for last month, we're currently staffed with 39 fire EMS members, 2 are non-structural firefighters, and 5 EMS-only members, with a total of 20 trained to do EMS. We're always looking for good people. If so, contact the town hall or the fire department. And our service for the last month, we had 19, well, we responded to 23 calls consisting of the following. 19 EMS calls, and the fire department was paged out 4 times for a mutual aid with Wisconsin Rapids Fire, a multi-vehicle car accident, and 2 carbon monoxide calls. Training info. Last month, our EMS group went to Pittsville for training with Lifelink 3. And then our fire sessions for training were at our burn house and doing search and rescue, wall breaches, drafting, and chainsaw operations. Just a note in there, later this month, on January 26th, we'll have 7 members going to an 8-hour class in Pittsville to get their NFPA certification in ice rescue techniques. We also have 2 members starting fire inspector class this semester, and our firefighter Tyler Roosh just passed his national registry for his EMT exam to join our EMS side of the house as well. So the last month we had a monthly department meeting, 1 officer meeting, 2 fire trainings, 1 EMS training. For public relations, we still have our smoke detector program is going hot and strong, and we still have our address sign program. And since the last report, there's been no injuries. Any questions?
Bill?
I would just like to thank you and the other people that responded to the Wood County Emergency Rescue Squad. And I wish you would just handwrite that on your report for historical purposes of the fact that, you did attend that meeting and it was well appreciated by the county board.
Oh, okay. Yep, I made a few of them. Thank you. Anything else?
Yeah, so, yeah, Bob, I have just one question. Did we hear anything from the county regarding that Project Lifesaver training? Anything?
No, I got the email with, and then I sent Sarah McCormick an email, and I just haven't heard back.
And I did talk to her actually today, because we talked last night about that, and she's working on that and getting followed up with you. She got tied up and she was off for the holidays, so.
Oh, sure.
She had like 2 weeks off right in there, so she'll be getting a hold of you here.
Okay, I figured between your email and my email, as soon as she could get around it, she'd get a hold of me.
All right,
She's got
sounds
all
good.
my contact information.
Okay, anything else? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Both, that was the safety department also. Police Chief Mel Peterson.
Good evening, everyone. Okay. All right, for the month of December, the Grand Rapids Police Department handled 357 calls for service, and that compared to 319 calls for service last December. That's about a 12% increase in calls for service. For the year, the Grand Rapids Police Department handled 4,689 calls for service, which compares to 4,519 calls for service during 2017. That represents about a 3.7% increase in calls, and the town board members should have a breakdown of those calls both for December and for the year.
Okay.
Police Department issued 72 traffic citations, 8 ordinance citations, and 51 written warnings for the month of December. On December 5th, 7th, 10th, and 12th, all officers of the Grand Rapids Police Department completed the lethality assessment program, lab training at the Wisconsin Rapids Police Department. The lethality assessment program consists of a set of 12 questions asked when responding to domestic violence situations to determine the level of risk a person faces based on the best available research on factors associated with lethal violence by a current or former intimate partner. The program is designed to identify high-danger victims and provide them opportunities and resources to reduce or eliminate that risk. Quick update on the October 27th nationwide prescription drug take-back event. If you recall, the town Grand Rapids did our part by collecting 113 pounds of unwanted, expired, and unused pharmaceuticals at the drive-through area at Kopp's Foods. That was in a 12-hour time frame between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. In addition, we collected 68 pounds of unwanted pharmaceuticals at our drop box here at the municipal building. What I hadn't received until just recently is statewide, Wisconsin shattered the previous record and collected 68,016 pounds of drugs. Wisconsin was the second in the country, only behind California. Thanks to everyone who hard work for making Wisconsin a safer place. So that's 34 tons
Yes.
of pharmaceuticals. Unbelievable.
Send them back to Chappaqua.
Okay, finally, the Grand Rapids Auxiliary Police Helping Hands Initiative for the holiday season was another huge success. Through generous donations from the town of Grand Rapids businesses and individuals, we were able to assist 5 families which included 18 children in the area. Gifts, clothes, basic needs, and food certificates were provided to the families so they could have an enjoyable Christmas. At this time, I'd like to personally thank the Grand Rapids Auxiliary and Sergeant Roxanne Nordbeck. If you want to stand up, Roxanne. And also, I'd like to have Officer Cody Conover stand up. He's in charge of our auxiliary for the Grand Rapids Auxiliary, and obviously he plays a big part in this as well. So I want to thank them, and I think the town board offers a great debt of thanks to both of you for working and putting it together. Let's see.
Let me give them a hand.
Overall, between businesses and personal donations, they collected a little over $1,805 worth of donations, and for the 5 families and 18 children, I think they spent $1,874.06 for the between the 5 families. So it was very productive and very beneficial for those families. So thanks again to Roxanne and Cody.
You bet.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
The other thing on that, we're rapidly educating our attorney, Nick, on how to wrap presents, so he's getting better.
All right. Okay, vehicles in department are doing well outside of normal maintenance and minor repairs. We have taken delivery of our new squad, the 2019 Ford Explorer. We have it, but we're waiting on our parts to get it built so that we can put it out on patrol. That includes lights, sirens, radios, computers, all the extra stuff we got to put in cages, things like that. So once we get all those parts in, then we'll be able to finish the build and get it put together and ready for patrol. So once again, feel free to stop by my office anytime, and if you have any questions or concerns, just stop and see me.
Any questions?
And
Go ahead, William.
I'd like to thank you for coming there. The Judicial Legislative Committee, where you made some real good comments on it, and in the minutes, and if you'd like a copy of those minutes, I'd be glad to give. It kind of put a new perspective on things.
Okay, well, I'm glad to help out, and like I said, it's an invaluable asset for the community as a whole, and instead of reducing it, I hope we can do nothing but expand it and make it for the rest of the county and everybody. I mean, we were just at an accident today out on 80th and at the railroad crossing there, a real serious accident, and rescue was right there and played a big part in helping get the scene secured. And we had both lanes, 80th Street was totally blocked, and we had to make arrangements to have traffic, diverted until we got it cleaned up. And that was probably 45 minutes blocked off at least, something like that. So.
And this is the first day in office for the new sheriff, and obviously he must have activated it. Because under the old sheriff, he couldn't do that until the 9th of January.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were out there, so.
Sounds good. Any other questions, comments? Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you.
And Amy, treasurer, Cook, do we have any money?
Yes, we do. Yes. Good evening. For the month of December, current month receipts were $5,124,758. Current month disbursements were $203,088. Cash on hand at the end of the month was $5,695,987, with $105,044 in checking and $139,074 in the repo account, with $318,944 in the money market. And I will still be collecting taxes until January 31st. Hours are still Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4:30, and Friday from 8 till noon. and close from 1 to 2 for lunch. And, yeah.
Any questions? Thank you much, Amy. Item 6, considered possible action on a request for overhead lighting, corner of Sampson Street in County Trunksy. You receive a letter that I shared with you that I received for Luke Wyland, who lives in the area. He's saying that there's been numerous accidents there on the corner due to poor lighting. The DNR fence has been hit multiple times this year already, and he's asking for us to consider a light. That section of road is a shared road with the village of Port Edwards. If it was going to be put on the Port Edwards side of it, they would likely come back to us and ask us if we would participate in, because it's a shared road. So I have not had conversation with the village of Port Edwards yet. I was going to wait for your decision as to whether we pursue this at all. The cost of it is, a new pole would have to be set to be on the corner. That's roughly just under $600. And from then on, it's $10.24 a month for the light itself. So the question is, do you want me to see if there's a cooperative agreement that we could work out, or is there a discussion you want, anything else you want? Some of the accidents, I'm not even sure if they were documented, because it looked just like fences have been nailed more than multiple times, and whether people got out and backed out of them themselves, we don't know.
Mr. Chairman, I have
Yes.
a question. Do you know where he wants, like, maybe a map going to be attached to this? I don't know if that's...
Yeah, the map was really unclear, and I decided not to do it. The best place for it would be in the Town of Grand Rapids corner of Sampson Street and Z. There's a power pole on the other side, but it has too many wires on it already on the Port Edwards side. So the Lion Energy says they wouldn't put it there. It'd have to go on the Grand Rapids side of the corner.
You're thinking the
Northeast corner.
I guess I would be interested if Port Edwards would entertain sharing that with us.
Okay. Bill?
I don't think we should do it. I think it's a county issue and a town of Port Edward, a village of Port Edwards issue. And the last time we had a light request, the person lived in this town, the person was handicapped, and we would not issue him one at all. So I think we should just have this resident of the village of Port Edwards go to the village board and to the county board, because it's a county road. I would not-
Bill, let me ask you this. You've been on the county board a number of years. Has the county paid for any lights on county roads yet?
Geez, no, here. Remember when I said about, I thought that this light on Highway 54 and 80th Street, 54 and 48th Street, and it was out, and I contacted Water and Light many times, and they said they would get it. And then finally come back, was it our light or not? Do you remember?
I don't think that's the state, I don't think that was our light.
No, it had to be the county.
No, on a state road, I believe you're correct. Now, I know on 32nd Street at this corner here in W, the town of Grand Rapids paid for those lights to be on there. There's 2 lights there, and 64th Street at, well, I can't say for sure there. I thought 64th Street also at 54 that we pay for, but I can't say that affirmatively. But I know in other places that we've asked around the county, we've not been successful. But I would like for him to see what the county's got to say first off. The village chairman or village is.
The new people.
He's also, you know.
So again, I'm not gonna say. But I've seen a lot of lights in the middle of the road strung between 2 poles. You know what I mean? The idea that the pole would have to be placed on town of Grand Rapids is just to get the town of Grand Rapids to pay for it. There's other ways to put up a light at that intersection that wouldn't even include the town of Grand Rapids.
Well, I don't know if that's truth or or whatever built, because I didn't talk to this guy, I talked to the contact at Alliant Energy, asked him, where can this pole be? He says the only place for it is in that corner of Grand Rapids, so. I'll follow up with the village.
In county?
Well, I'll have him work on the county and see what.
Who's him?
The village guy, village,
Oh.
Joe Zerflu,
And he's a county board member.
right, so, I mean,
Okay,
Perfect.
that one is perfect.
I've scheduled meetings with him for quite a while, and we've not been able to communicate enough to get a date here, but I had hoped to have it done before this, but, so the item is tabled, is that correct?
Yes.
We'll table it.
You need a motion for that?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to table
Second.
this.
Motion Andrew, motion Dan, second Andrew to table, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have an aye opposed, no opposed. Considerable possible action on resolution 2019-02, obtaining a loan not to exceed $308,000 for the 2019 budget capital outlay purchase. So what we did is got the rates, and the rate is 2.85%, actually less than the last rate, even though interest rates have been going up, which kind of surprised me.
Just for public purposes, could you announce those?
Public Works, which is a pickup truck, $32,000. Fire Department turnout gear, boots, air packs, $22,009. Law Enforcement Squad, $54,065. Office equipment, tips, and SDC interface software, $2,750. Public Buildings Town Garage Security System, re-roof the sand shed, $7,000. The accessories spends the revale, this is half of the cost to reevaluate all the properties in the town, $75,000 this year, which includes their yearly rate of roughly $15,000, is it?
14 or 15.
14, so it's basically $60,000 a year. And road construction of $115,000.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve resolution 2019-2 to obtain the loan not in excess of 308,000 at the Wood Trust Bank for 2.85% over the term of 2 years.
I'll
Motion
second.
by Andrew,
I'll second
second
it.
by Dan. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have an aye, any opposed? No opposed. Consider possible action, this is item number 8. Consider possible action on resolution 2019-03, public depository listing.
Take a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion by Bill,
Patty,
second by
second.
Patty. Thank you. Any discussion? And the repositories are, would you read those, Amy? Just for the record?
Yes, Wood Trust Bank, Associate Bank, Connexus Credit Union, US Bank, Paper City Savings, BMO Bank, River Cities Bank, Valley Communities, and Pioneer Bank.
Thank you.
They're all local, right?
They're all over Wisconsin.
That's right.
And
They all have a local office.
Yeah.
and the idea behind these are, if we have them in this resolution where we can then go get funds from them if we need, not that we use them, but we do check for rates, obviously, as we did here. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have an aye, any opposed? Item 9, consider possible action on Chief Peterson attending the 2019 WPLF Midwinter Training Conference in Dells, February 10th through the 13th.
So moved. I make a motion to approve the training request.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye. Now you can leave.
Sorry.
Item 10, consider possible action on revised employee handbook, removing the reference to flexible savings account, which we no longer are using.
Did we vote on number 9?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I didn't see anything.
Hang on here.
Sorry.
At the wife calling?
Come on. That wakes me up in the night.
Everybody alarm.
And that's on silence.
Yeah, and I'm
I'm on
actually,
silence too.
That's what happens when the fire chief uses phone.
apologize for your ears, Art. Woo. I'll tell you what, that'll get you out of bed at night. Let's see. Item 11, are we tabling?
No, you read 10, but.
I read 10,
We need a
Do you need a
motion.
motion? I'll make a motion to
Andrew?
remove the flexible spending account from the employee handbook.
I'll
Second by Patty. Now, discussion on that? And you had a question, did you?
Well, I did on 9, but it's
Oh.
a done deal.
Okay,
I'll talk to him after the meeting.
sure. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
No, I can't do that.
Just when the camera.
Item 11, are we tabling that?
Yeah, we're gonna have to table that based on, we had a fire call today and the meeting got postponed.
Motion to table till next meeting.
I'll second.
Motion by Ernie, second by Patty. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an
I'm
aye.
opposed to tabling it. I think it can be discussed and there's some important things. And I don't know how it got to the personnel committee. It even amended our agenda. Had that, yeah. Okay. I know, and that's my reason is because I think it should be discussed. Because I think there's some things that I have come up with and maybe other people have, but that's all right. It's tabled.
It's tabled. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed.
One opposed? Thank you. 12, the December disbursement vouchers. Questions?
Oh, I had one on page 5.
Okay, go ahead.
Page 5. The low voltage solutions, maintenance on the Chevy Silverado. What type of maintenance? is
Okay,
it?
that was Chevy Silverado. That was Car 3's system for red lights and siren. Car 3 is,
So we had problems with that?
No, we had to add it to his vehicle. So when Bob, who was car 3, went to car 1, you know, he got then car 3 was Kevin Grosskreitz, he's our new assistant chief. So we put lights and sirens in his personal vehicle.
Oh, that's a personal vehicle.
Right.
Okay.
Same thing with Car 2. They have lights and siren and use them only when they need to.
And this was, whose vehicle did you say?
Kevin Gross.
Kevin Grosskreitz. Any other questions?
No.
No, okay. We're good on them. We'll move to 13 operator licenses. We had a couple, I believe, right?
Yep.
We have a Megan Algar and a Jacqueline Gilbertson. The motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Andrew?
Megan and Jacqueline.
Second?
Patty.
Patty? Any discussion? These are all one-year licenses, by the way. Why was the asterisk behind one of these? Or did you just leave it there?
Oh, Jewel Lizzie's new application.
Oh, new application. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed? Monthly reports from committees. Public Works, yeah, we've been out. Rick's new pickup truck has arrived. As I talked to you last month, I think I told you it was white instead of red. It's here. We're in the process of getting it ready, financed, or getting the paperwork done and getting it picked up. And then a lot of the stuff Rick will transfer from his current truck. I discussed with him just in brief, we may want to consider some additional lights now that it's not a red vehicle and now it's a white vehicle. Maybe we want to placard the back of it with chevrons or something. So we'll talk to that. And we have about $4,000 of available funds. We borrowed 32, the vehicle came in at 28. Not intending to spend everything, but if we decide that we need to get some of that extra stuff, we'll bring it up.
And we put that on the 2 tankers, the 2
Yeah.
fire tankers, maybe a year or 2 ago, and very, very well.
Okay.
Good.
And then also a toolbox.
Right, you wanted to put a second toolbox. He has one that's crossed back, and he wanted to put one on the side to give him a little more storage of when he carries things like the chainsaw and stuff like that with him. Okay, and I guess we had some flooding issues yesterday. The crew was working what they could. EG was involved with one house on Helke Avenue that was in danger of flooding, got close, but didn't flood. In this morning, it's all down. That outflow that we have that runs into Lake Wazicha that comes down from Grove Avenue, swales through the county, and then it goes down to concrete overflow. That was flowing at about 1.5 foot wide in the middle of the afternoon yesterday.
Wow.
There was water just moving.
I bet.
So it wasn't soaking anywhere, didn't have anywhere to go.
Mhm.
The other...
Any issues with that drainage pipe that's going?
No, the good part about it, I was going to mention that, when I went down and checked everything there, I was checking that one to see if it was flowing, and there was so many bubbles out of there, and it was swirling around, so you could tell it was
There
rolling
was
water.
some water coming out of there.
So maybe that augering that was down?
I think we've, not crossed my fingers, but I think we've got, I didn't have any residents call me with any issues over there, so.
Okay, good.
Questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I have two. Today I received a phone call in regards to Eagle Road. Is there supposed to be a meeting coming up?
I haven't heard yet, I haven't
They
been.
thought it was going to be this week,
Yes,
so.
that's what I heard also.
I didn't receive any notices of any meetings.
Okay.
Was this a meeting for just the public information bill? Are you aware of it?
No, I thought it was some changes. I thought you smelled different.
Thank you, Art.
No, that's why you're supposed to walk in front of the table.
I just heard,
I
I
was
just heard,
just
it was,
testing.
was I going to the meeting, and I didn't hear anything about
I'm gonna
it,
start
but then the
checking
person
mine.
never got back to me. so.
Okay. So that was one of my questions, if we were going to have a meeting, or,
I can tell you that since the paper mill has said that there's going to be more pulp coming in, the county is having to consider an extra couple $100,000, was it, Bill?
Yes, yeah,
In
yes.
construction to build the concrete thicker.
right.
The county did hold a public meeting with the public last spring or during the summer, and explained the process and said that it was going to be 2020 project. It's not going to be this year, it's going to be in 2020, it's going to be built.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get way ahead of everything and making sure that everything is built to the specs that they need it to be.
Okay, so it's not gonna be part of Grand Rapids
Well, we,
paying for
no,
this, or
no,
it's all
there's
just
no funds,
county? Right,
no
okay.
funds out of Grand Rapids.
That was one of their questions, and I didn't know how
No.
to answer that.
No, the only thing that is this is going back 2 years ago, they invited myself to attend some of the planning meetings with them so that we could, and then I got the residences that are in Grand Rapids, especially the guys from the Golden Eagle Log Homes involved with it, because they're gonna have some, time when they won't be able to get into their lot from one way because of the construction. And that was all worked out with the engineering firm when they, so they haven't even let the bids out for this yet. This bids won't be out until likely next year, but they're still in design stage. And I wasn't aware of any announcement of any meeting, because normally Roland would include me in those. Roland Hawk from the county would.
Well, if you do hear something.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to
Okay,
everybody
that
if I
sounds
hear
good.
it.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then I had one other phone call in regards to the last snowfall that we had.
The ice or the one before.
It was the one before, not the
Mhm.
This particular person has a smaller cul-de-sac, they live in a subdivision.
Mhm.
And the plow just went one swoop around,
Mhm.
and a lot of the slush and snow was in the middle.
Mhm.
And I said that I think they were just doing that because the temperatures were gonna be like 40 degrees coming up, and we probably knew that the
Yeah.
snow would not be accumulating there.
Mhm.
That's not our normal process.
Well, that is our normal process on a cul-de-sac, is just do it once around
Right.
and then come back the next day or 2 days later and push it off.
Okay,
So the idea is just to keep the plows moving. If they would stay at the cul-de-sac, they would save 15 minutes in that cul-de-sac plowing everything, but what they wanna do is get everybody, the residents, able to get out, and they get out of there, and then they come back a day or two later and move the snow that's in the middle.
And that was the concern, that the snow in the middle would stay there from hence
No,
till spring. And
No.
I said, I didn't think that was our process, but I'd ask tonight.
no, you are correct, that is not our process.
Perfect, thank
Okay,
you.
any other questions? Hearing none? Airport Commission, the airport hasn't met, it's gonna meet Thursday. Moved back because somebody was out of town, that's important to our commission, so
It's gonna be moved back, but it's still on Thursday, but it's at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, yes, we had to move it to 3 o'clock on Thursday. Typical items will be our discussion about, with our Board of Aeronautics gentleman that's helping us with the funding. He's gonna be there in attendance to give us an update on our funding. We have that 2.1 million. We also been told that we can use $150,000 of our yearly entitlements, which we get yearly from the feds, on this project if we need to. And we're hoping not to need any more than $1.7 million, but we'll see. The idea is with that additional money, one way, shape, manner, or form, we have to try to find enough funds to build a new fuel system. Fuel system there is pretty old already, and the 10,000 gallons is just not enough storage for jet fuel. With the jets can take in 1,000 or 1,200 gallons at a time, and they'll take too long to empty them out. So what we're trying to do is, it's probably in the neighborhood of $350,000 to $400,000 for a 30,000 gallon fuel system, which would be, now the other source of funding for that could be entitlements that we have coming in 2020 and 21. We keep getting 150,000 every year, but as we have all our blacktopping done by the end of this year, what are we gonna use those entitlements for? So we're looking at, can we borrow against those entitlements to hopefully build that fuel system late this fall? So it's kind of where we're going. Go ahead, Shirley, question?
Yeah, did the town of Rome ever pay the $10,000 that they said they were gonna pay by the
Yeah.
end of the
Yes.
year? And
Yes.
are they not going to?
At this moment,
pay anything?
they are not funding this coming year. Now, we are meeting with a different department. It's not in the town budget. We're going to their other committee, which holds the funds from the hotel motel tax, and we're asking for support that way. So we don't know what there is, but we're tempted to get that 1,000 from them again. So we're still trying to see what happens. Should be no reason that they wouldn't support it, I guess, is my opinion. Any other questions on airport? Move over to recycling, Bill, anything?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of some DNR people and start on the annual report, but, and discuss the Schuster review. So I'm trying to set up a meeting, hopefully the end of this month.
Okay. Plan Commission, Patty, anything?
We didn't meet yet, but our next meeting is January 14th at 6 o'clock, and we do have a couple dog exemption permits that are coming up.
Okay.
And also land use permit, or, conditional use permit for a trucking business. And then also to discuss the comprehensive plan, and also work on the annual meeting
Sure.
report. And I think that's it for now. Oh, I just wanted to mention too, the year-end totals for new homes were 32 for
Yeah.
2018.
Actually, 28 were started, or 30 were started. Two
Right.
people took out permits prior to January 1st when the new rates go in. Beat the rate type deal, and
Yeah.
they'll be started this year. So
Yeah,
technically, we have 32
that's correct.
compared to 22
20.
or 23 last year. You'll find out our annual
Right,
report.
at our annual
It's
report. it'll
pretty
be on there.
impressive. It's pretty impressive what we're doing.
And I think the year before that it was 7.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Yes. Wow. 7, 15, 7, then here we go to town.
Yeah.
So it's good to see growth. Hopefully the population will go with it, but We're kind of going backwards on our population. Every time I look at it, it goes down a little bit. Let's see, the question I had for you, Patty, I'm not sure if you know this or not, the answer. Because we approved this new business permit,
Right.
does that affect the land use permit at all?
I know, we're gonna be discussing that at
Discuss
our,
it. Okay.
at our next meeting.
Yeah, I'm not
We'll
sh-
get clarification. Our attorney is going to be there at the
Okay,
meeting,
good.
so we plan on getting a little bit more clarification how that works.
Because my thought was, I don't know if you no longer need to do some of those as opposed to them going through the business permit versus
Right.
land use, which,
I am thinking that it may be a duplication of the permitting, but
I wanna
we'll
say he
take a look.
brought that up at one of the legislative committee meetings, and he said it would be a either or situation.
okay.
As I recall, that was what I
One,
thought.
one goes in front of the plan commission and one does not, so we're gonna get clarification
Okay.
just so that the office personnel
Mhm,
knows
sure.
the correct procedure.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else questions for Plan Commission? Public Buildings, Dan?
We have not met, but we will be, just take a look at some of the upcoming projects.
And you did get the notice that there's an electrical outlet we need to repair.
Yep, we
Okay.
just heard about that tonight. so-
Yeah, that's
Oh, what?
Electrical outlet that needs to
Oh,
be
okay.
repaired.
Not by Peggy's desk?
No.
No, no, that one's all good.
Okay.
Legislative Committee did not meet. Public Safety, Andrew,
We
we're gonna
did-
be meeting, right?
Yeah, we did not meet. I did hear from the chief, and he's about wrapped up with the 20-year plan, or at least the beginning stages or beginning drafts of that. So he's gonna be getting that to us, and then as soon as we receive that, I'll set up a meeting. We'll meet and continue on with that planning project.
Patty, anything on economic development? Or I guess there was any questions for
Well,
him?
first of all, questions. I was wondering, when Mel creates the Grand Rapids Police Department report, he refers to the previous month or, same month, previous year. I'm wondering if the fire department can do something to that extent, just so that we can look at a little bit of history. I like to be able to recall and look back at those type of stats.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
certainly Andrew can,
I can reach out to, I think that's really
do
easy to have that happen.
I think you'll be astounded at the number of EMS calls this year.
Right, and I think that's good information to have to take a look at.
And I would have liked to seen the Green Reef report. We used to get that. I don't think he had it on his report.
No, I probably didn't.
The number of lights.
Was there 3 on it?
I don't know. I think, well, yes, there's 3 bright lights.
Yeah.
Three red ones.
The one on top is a white one.
White, 2 is red.
Oh,
Okay, we'll get that on the next report
Yeah.
for you, Bill.
And I'll
Okay,
talk to Bob
Okay,
about that as well.
Thanks a lot.
economic development, Patty, anything?
No, sir.
And personnel committee?
no, it was scheduled for today, but due to a fire call, we had to postpone it.
Okay, WTA meeting, Bill, did you go?
Well, I get that report last month because it was on the 7th.
That's right, it was.
December.
Okay.
If you want it, it's in the
No,
minutes.
we got it. Thank you. Items 15, report from individual board members. Bill?
Oh, okay.
I decided
Yes,
which way
I
to
would just like to say something about the Traffic Safety Committee. Our chief serves on that, and I really think somebody from Public Works or our chairman, I think you should attend those. I find them, they're quarterly, correct?
Yes.
I find them, I go to them, I'm not asking to go to them so I get paid, but I go to them now, and it just tells you about all the accidents, where they are, where the bad roads. I just think it's a great thing. I'm glad Mel is on it now, and finally, after years, the town of Grand Rapids can sit at the table, so I'd like to see it attended. I'd like to even see more towns attend it. And then there's, and the chief probably also knows about this, and I don't know who to go to. I did get plenty of calls, but there's a big solar issue going around with the county, and where we have the landfill out here. We could get as much as 110 $100,000 a year. And for that 80 acres that the county owns here, where we drain Wazeecha Lake, that could be a solar farm. And the county is now solar, it's SOL Smart, and we're dealing with some people to get it in, and we can get lots of grant money for it. But that also gives us $110, and it don't cost us any money.
Give who?
Give the town of Grand Rapids.
If there's a solar farm on there?
Yes, but it has to go through the county, and that person that's involved in that is from the extension office, and she would like to probably at the plan commission meeting, during public comment, just bring it up and you people could put it on the agenda. And then the other thing, there's a request for a UTV that a person needs in the town, and I'll discuss that with you and see if you want to put it on the agenda. Or maybe even for a legislative meeting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We've addressed that a couple years ago, I believe, at that point in time, but certainly we'll listen to any request and make the proper discussion on it. Thank you. Dan, anything? Hey?
No, I just brought it up through the Public Works comments.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Amy, you got anything? Lisa? The only thing I have is to put my glasses up, wish my wife, Mary Ann, a happy birthday today.
Happy birthday, Mary Ann.
I told her I was going to do that. She said, don't you dare.
Can't believe she didn't come tonight.
Item 16, anybody else in the audience wishing to speak again? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Andrew, Dan, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm also an aye, believe it or not.
You gotta get home and make steak dinner for her.